you know, the goodwill message.
And
Hey,
John and Holly didn't tell us, guys, you know, Francois, Janet, Pauline and myself, and Alex came in late, but he was there too, that this would be a heck of a lot of fun to sort of have everybody into the Mississauga, Oakville area for this reunion. And the fun began with a lot of the replies, and one of the things that I'm sure that everybody felt was that we were pouring an awful lot of information to them, and we started back 2 years ago. And we wanted to compete with the junk mail, of course, and but we got some interesting replies, and I'll just give you a little tidbit of what we got. Like, for example, Ken wrote us, this was back in summer of '92, and he said, 1994, wow. My calendar for '94 is completely clear. In fact, it hasn't been printed yet. By that time, maybe the constitutional problems will be resolved. The Serbs and Croats will love each other. The Irish Protestants and Catholics will wonder what they've been fighting about. The Sikhs and other Hindus, fundamentalists, Muslims, and other people will tolerate each other. And the Blue Jays will win the World Series. Ha! 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 And that's what he wrote. Well, you know, eh?
who's that?
That's Ken Reid.
That was last year.
Eh? Right? Didn't I say that? Anyway, he, you know, he hit 1 out of 10. So that's not too bad. Said, we're not going to Toronto, we're coming from Toronto. And if that makes a difference to the directions of your route, please let us know. But one thing I was going to write back and say, you know, just change the arrow. Instead of to Toronto, from Toronto. Connell Smith, wherever he may be, seemed to take some had a little fun with our English font that we put on our invitation, you know, and he sent back a letter that even I couldn't read. Ken Reid noted that of the 30-odd classmates listed, only 8 remained in Quebec. Well, that's been corrected tonight, right?
7 now.
7 now. He says, one of whom was deceased and therefore not as active as most of them.
I'm not so sure.
Ed Knight, for example, indicated that he and Marge, they were back. Can you hear me here?
Yeah.
That they're back to skiing. This was, you know, one of our epistles. They were awaiting the maple syrup season to begin in Piedmont. He asked, will Alan Held follow up with a translation of his question as to whether G is really constant, or did I lose the idea in the rambling prose? So, Alan, over to you. And you know that, as John said, a lot of folk couldn't make it. George Christopher called to say, and he was really going to come, and Andy Surra was going to have him over to his house, but he has emphysema. He carries around oxygen with him, and it just wouldn't work. Bob Skomorowski, we kept writing him, and Alan Held was in charge of let's get Bob Skomorowski to attend. But this is what he finally wrote us in June the 24th, and we got it a little later. And this was to L. Ross Campbell. Dear Ian, I'll read it to you anyway because it's sort of nice. Thanks very much for sending me news about the coming class reunion. I wish I could say I would be there in July, but I've received some bad news recently, and he's not too well. About 3 months ago, when I was unloading some suitcases from my car, collapsed with severe chest pains, shortness of breath. Diagnosis is heart trouble, angina pectoris. My great fear is that it does not lead to congestive heart failure because of the rheumatic fever which I had when I was 10 years old. He's retired from work now. He spends time puttering around, taking medicine, doing exercise and getting lots of rest. Say hello to everybody from me. Didn't get a chance to answer the nice letter that Alan Held had written, but he did enclose an article for Alan, and Alan has got that. Okay.
Where does he live?
And he lives in New Jersey. New Jersey. We have Peter Molnaric. Peter Molnaric, well, I think you know that he just said he received the latest update. Sounds like a fun time. Pleased to see. There'll be a good turnout. Unfortunately, Heather and I will not be able to attend. Our elder daughter is being married on July 2nd, '94 in Montreal. Excuse me.
No, not poor sense of priority.
Not a good excuse at all.
Let's write him a letter.
Enjoy the reunion and our best regards to all. Peter Molnaric. That was to Dr. Campbell, by the way.
Is that Dr. Ian Campbell?
Now, what have I got? Oh, yeah. Bob Bogula, he's in Vancouver. He's a stockbroker. And I'll tell you one thing, don't take any tips from Bob Bogula. I called him back a while ago, and he gave me a tip, and I said, well, it's worth $1,000. Well, it isn't worth $1,000. Let me also tell you, his daughter's working for him now, and his excuse for not coming was that his daughter was taking a vacation. So he couldn't make it.
Grandchildren.
Yeah, that's Bob Bogula. Lee Hutton. Lee Hutton was going to call. He called and he said he was going to call and say he was coming. However, he got some word from his buddies in the Air Force. He was a radar technician, as you probably all know, and they're having a big event, and I think it's next week, and he felt that 2 trips to Montreal or to Toronto from Montreal would be a little bit beyond his interest. So he does send his regards. He misses the gang, and he would have liked them in here with bells and whistles. Bob Rivard, he sent regrets and best wishes, and he called. And we heard about Gelber. We all know about Gelber. Janet Bollinger can give you more information. She had lined up a whole lot of people to go downtown Toronto to see his art collection. Did she embarrass him? Peter Halikas, I couldn't get a hold of Peter. I left messages on his machine, but he's probably too busy. Mike Questel was coming, however, it ended up that he had a convention or something, couldn't make it. And now Dave Saunders. Dave Saunders wrote us, and by the way, we all tried to get Dave here. Janet wrote a very nice letter, Janet Bollinger, after he had refused. Well, he had said he couldn't make it, and then I wrote a letter and talked a lot about our past and our fishing and our tennis and all that.
Anyone send him a ticket?
Good. This is Dick Thompson.
Dear
Dick
David,
Thompson.
we've taken a collection of them.
Anyway, it says, Dear Ross, thank you very much for your good letter. You have done well to be semi-retired at such a youthful age. News to him, I'm fully retired. I can't come to the class reunion because I have responsibilities at the beginning of our academic year when the postdoctoral fellows arrive to join our training program. He attends the consultative services during the months of July, show the flag, cover the emergency medical service on July the 4th. He would certainly, and I said, of course you should come because you're the class president. And he said he would support an insurgency to replace him as class president. But we've already got an insurgent. The nerd sitting over there.
Captain Nerd.
Captain. It says, now this is interesting, Donna and I have 2 remarkable events to look forward to next spring. We are expecting to be made grandparents in early June. And in mid-May, our 3rd son graduates from medical school, which will leave only 4th son in school. His master's program should take only 1 more year. I'm looking forward to a couple of years of employment without major liens on my salary. And don't we know? Okay, well that's the gang that isn't coming. I got another, something else? Okay. Janet Bollinger asked me to say a very great thank you to all the ladies that helped with this wonderful meal that we've all enjoyed. And they all deserve a big thanks. They were all very gracious when she called and just were delighted to participate, so that says a lot. Now, I think that since John and Holly Jonas really are the ones to thank for starting these reunions and keeping them going, I believe they deserve a tremendous round of applause for their tremendous contribution. Okay.
Stan started.
Is that right?
That was the first one in
Well-
September. How about rounding up what you can away at a reunion? He gave us 2 weeks.
By golly. Well,
That's
this- Okay, well, one other thing though, John said, you know, those folk that have left us deceased, there was a letter that came to Harold Bergen, and he was quite taken with this, and this was a year and a half ago. And it said, attention to Harold, the Campbells and Bollingers are our hosts, I believe. And it was written by, well, Ethel and Len Unsworth. And it said that my wife and I intend to join you on the 45th anniversary in Toronto and are looking forward to the gathering. And it was just shortly after that that Bunny died. And so I think that we may, it would be rather nice if we spent maybe a couple of seconds, a minute in thought for these people that have passed away. Thank you. Okay, we'll turn it back to John and